Hi, this is Joe again with another review. One second, in this video I'm going to be discussing the 1970 movie classic, because some people still call this movie a classic. The 1970 film Love Story, starring Ali MacGraw and Ryan O'Neal. Of course, this movie is, of course, one of the saddest movies of all time, and I think still to this day, especially people who grew up, who was alive at the time the movie came out, said this was one of the saddest movies of all time, and they still cry over it people still cry over it to this day. And it's almost a 50-year-old movie. So it's a little bit older. It's about almost 2 years older than I am. That's how old this movie is. And of course, if this movie was made, let's say, 20 years later, 1990, instead of 1970, people would have panned this movie to death, because by 1990 this movie would have been such a cliche that it's not even funny. Even in the VH1 retrospective series, I Love the 70s, made fun of this movie because it's such a cliche film, which I'm going to get into in a minute. Right now, the movie Love Story is about basically these two young lovers, right, played by Ryan O'Neal and Ali MacGraw, and they they meet each other at a local school library because both of them were in college. And I think she was actually Allie's character was actually working in the library. Meets Ryan O'Neal's character, and they almost practically fall in love almost from the start, almost like love at first sight deal. And what happens is, of course, they're from two different backgrounds. Like a stereotypical plot for like the 80s and 90s movies like this. And what happens is that Ryan O'Neal's character wanted to marry her, and in love, of course, the father, Ryan O'Neal's father in the film, didn't approve of the girl because she's a poor girl. Second, she came from a poor family, poor background, and even though her father is fairly successful in running a pretzel factory or something, he does run a successful business, but not, he's not good. The door was not good enough for his own son, and not only that, but she's also Catholic. And of course he wasn't. And they didn't specifically say what kind of religion that Ryan O'Neal's character is from. If it was Jewish or it was Protestant or if it was Christian or whatever. It didn't really say that. What religion Ryan O'Neal's character was, just focused on her religion. But Ryan O'Neal says I want to marry her anyway. I love her. She loves me. I want to marry her. And of course, as soon as Ryan O'Neal's father found out about it, he decided to cut him off for everything. For his money, and he comes from a rich family, from a millionaire's family, literally. And so Ryan O'Neal does get into law school, goes to law school, graduates from law school. He tries to get a scholarship at the last minute, because now all of a sudden he's cut off of his money. And if he didn't get cut off, he would have paid for law school on his own without needing a college scholarship. And long story short, he does graduate from college. He gets a good job at a decent a pretty good law firm in New York, or New York City. What happens is he finds out that his wife, when the Ali MacGraw's character, found out that she is sick with cancer, and she was going to be dying from it. And of course, what happens in the end of the movie is, of course, she does end up dying at the end. And I'm not going to give anything away that nobody doesn't know. She's going to end up dying anyway in the film. And of course, that's where all the cliches coming after that, because there's so many movies that came out after this, like Beaches, for example, Steel Magnolias, but that's like years later, like 18, 19 years later, after this, where a character has a disease that eventually, or an illness that eventually kills him, and there's so many movies in the 80s and the early 90s that ripped that premise off. And of course, Love Story, of course, also has the infamous line that also gets made fun of. Not only on the VH1 series that I mentioned earlier, but mentions now, and that is, of course, the line, love means never having to say you're sorry. It's like uttered twice in this film. There's one scene where Alan McGraw and Ryan O'Neal get into an argument, and she leaves, and then she comes back, and she realizes that she left and she's sitting on the stoop of their apartment building, and realizes that she left her keys in the apartment, and so she's sitting out there on the stoop for who knows how long, and Ryan O'Neal apologizes to her for getting into the argument, disagreeing her on the point that they had in that scene. And Allie says the line, love means never having to say you're sorry. And he goes, what? and she repeated it. And then, of course, at the end of the movie, where Ryan O'Neal tells his father, in a way, reacts to his father saying, I need $5,000. Because since you cut me off, I have to come to you for money because I need it. And she goes, why? You got a girl in trouble? And because he's thinking that he got a girl who isn't his wife pregnant. And he goes, something, and Ryan O'Neal says, oh, something like that, Dad, And he gives her, and Ryan O'Neal's father gives him the $5,000. And then later on, in the end of the movie, where Ally McGraw does die, and you don't actually physically see her die, but it's implied that she had passed away. Ryan O'Neal sees his father again, in front of the hospital, and he says, "Oh, I didn't know that Jennifer was sick." And this, the name of Ally McGraw's character. I didn't know she was sick, and he said that that's why I needed $5,000 for to help pay for her medical treatments. And he says, and then he says to Ryan O'Neal, "I said, well, when did you call me? I could have helped. I could make some calls, and I'm willing to." Help you. And he says, you're too late, Dad, she's dead. I said, you're too late, she just died. And then Ryan, and then the father says to him, I'm sorry. And then Ryan O'Neal, of course, which was the very last line in the film, love means never having to say you're sorry. And then Ryan O'Neal just walks away, walks into Central Park. And then he sees by the ice skating rink in Central Park, and it's still of course there today. And that's how the movie ends. And I mean, it is the first time I ever seen this movie. It is a very sad movie, and it's it's quite moving. And to me, I feel like sometimes it's slow paced, and sometimes it moves a little bit faster paced because. I don't think it's not even an hour and 45 minutes, this film. I mean, it's less than 2 hours, so it's not that long of a film. And so they move to the relationship pretty quick. And the illness then lasted, very long. Which, of course, in other movies like Beaches, went for a while, or for Terms of Endearment, which also has a similar thing where we had a tragic death of an illness. Debbie Ringer's character also developed cancer and dies. So after Love Story, you have so many movies that had ripped off the same kind of premise that became kind of a cliche, But Love Story was really one of the first, the first movies that have that type of a storyline, or that type of a plot, where a young couple gets married and one of them develops cancer and dies, and dies tragically of cancer, and you have this whole thing, and it's really, really sad, and it's really it really is a sad story. I mean, they didn't cry over it, they cry like a baby over it, like a lot of women do when see this movie. But the problem is that if you watch it today, you have so many other movies that ripped it off. Like you have Seven Magnolias, you have Beaches, you have Terms of Endearment, even to an extent. You have all these movies that have a similar type of a plot. Of course, there's variations in those movies. Of course, you have to keep some variations, otherwise it's going to be the same retread. Like when the Star was born, they made four remakes of Star was born, and it's the same plot, basic plot, just like they modernize it a little bit. That's what they did with this particular subplot of Love Story, and they keep rehashing some kind of tragic illness and some tragic death in it. Like at Beaches, Barbara Hershey has a kind of heart condition and dies. You had Seven Magnolias with Julia Roberts with the diabetes, giving birth to a kid and dying not too long after the complicated diabetes and childbirth. And so you had so many variations of the Love Story plot that I think the Love Story is just, I think, the first of that trend. Even though it came out in 1970, I think really the first of that trend. And it continued, hit its peak in the 80s. But even though kind of like value on a little bit, I still think it's a very, very, very good movie, and it's definitely one of the best films that came out at that time. And even though it didn't win, I don't think it won anything in terms of Oscars. I think maybe it was like I think it was the French Connection or something. One. I forgot which movie being out. I think it was maybe like the French Connection being out for Best Picture, but I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But I think it's the same. I think like a year difference between French Connection and I'm not too sure which movie won for Best Picture that year, but I know it's not Love Story. Otherwise, they will have capitalized on that and show that movie during Oscars week, like on TCM or something. But the movie itself, it's quite sad. I thought that Ally McGraw, I thought she was smoking hot. She was hot in that movie, even though now she's better known as being a drunk after that. Drunken actress, because she got typecast in Love. I think it's because they had to do with being typecast in Love Story, which happens way too much from actors. So that's my review of the movie Love Story. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video on your Facebook pages. And check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, that's all WDY, and then C.com, that's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. First thing more, please check out all his reviews on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.